Not a good way to start off a stream with a yawn, but how we doing, everybody? Welcome to the KillJoy Jake YouTube channel. Welcome in, welcome in. It is going to be a fun stream. We just posted a brand new video on the page talking about Jurassic World Rebirth. 5 things you might not have known. And it was exciting stuff. It was stuff that I didn't even know. Going into some of that, I was like, ooh, that's interesting. So definitely check that out if you're watching this on replay. I appreciate you guys for watching the stream, but check out that video. It's pretty good. It's a fun one. Lots of fun things I learned about Jurassic World. I just finished it up minutes ago, which is why I'm cracking open a cold one here. It's an energy drink, but close enough. Pretty much the same thing. But today we're here to talk some horror, as always. The latest on horror news, the latest in terms of things we're excited for. We have a lot to break into tonight, I feel. So throw it down in the chat below, whatever you guys want to get into. We'll talk a little bit about it, see what's going on. We got a few people hanging out with us already. We got Shot by Shot saying, "What's up, Chicken Man? How's it going?" Seeing Superman tomorrow and can't wait. It's also been a while since I've been to the KillJoy Jake lives. Well, thanks for being here, dude. Appreciate you a ton. I hope you enjoy Superman. I'm probably going to see it at some point. I don't think I'm going to see it tomorrow. I just don't have time. But I'm going to try to see it this weekend, which, by the way, we are going to GullGotha this weekend. So if you're in the Kentucky or Southern Ohio area, make sure to stop on by. It's going to be a really fun time. I'm going to be meeting a ton of friends from the chat. I know a few people are going to show up, which is great. But if you're in the area, stop on by GullGotha. I will be there all weekend, Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be fun. So stop on by for some of that. I'm going to try to see, whenever I get a break, I'm going to try to go shoot over and see Superman. But I don't think I'm going to cover it on the page. There just doesn't seem to be an interest in superhero stuff on here, unfortunately. But would love to see it just to see what it's all about. I'm a huge fan of James Gunn. And I hope it's good. I really do. I'm rooting for it quite a bit. I'm hearing mixed reviews, but I trust nobody right now, man. Everybody is, I feel like a lot of the people that are going to see this one are absolutely the Snyder bros who are just hating on it no matter what. So I just don't trust those opinions. Like, I don't know. I can't, because I know a lot of people just want to hate this movie to hate it because it's not Zack Snyder's vision or whatever. So I'm excited to see what it's all about, though. We'll see. See what's going on. Cody's also with us. Thank you for being a channel member, Cody. Saying, "Hey, Jake and folks, hope all is well. How would you feel if Scream 8, they kill off Sid and they pass her torch off to her daughter, and her friends become Sid and her friends, basically, of the new generation? You're also listening to metal while waiting on the stream. That's sick as fuck, dude. I wish we had metal music just in the background of this stream. That would make it so much more intense and crazy. I would love that. No, but yeah, I don't really want to see Sid die. I don't think that's necessary for Scream. It's just not every franchise needs to be the most brutal, thing we've ever, like in Terrifier, every character has died pretty much besides Sienna at this point, The Scream's it's a different franchise. Terrifier, it works. Final Destination, it absolutely works. But with Scream, I feel like we're going just for a totally different vibe. So I don't know. I don't think that's exactly, I don't need her to die, but I would like the torch to be passed, I'm totally fine with moving on to new characters, but I guess my point is that doesn't mean we have to kill him. I think it worked with Dewey. I don't know if I need Gale maybe Gale. I think there's an argument for Gale's arc could end with her dying, but I don't think Sydney needs to die personally. I don't think that's where her arc concludes in universe. RJ Skarenki is saying 11 more days till I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's exciting. I'll be covering that like crazy. I have some I Know What You Did Last Summer videos planned out for next week, so I'm really excited for you guys to see that. We wrapped up our Jurassic World coverage today again. I know we just have people rolling in now, so if you didn't hear what I said like 2 seconds ago, I'll say it one more time. We'll move past it. But I just posted a new video talking about Jurassic World Rebirth, and it's kind of it's probably my last video I'm going to do on it, but it was a lot of really fun things I learned about the movie in the last couple of days or so, and it's a good one to check out for sure. So give it a watch. Give it a watch. It's a solid video, and I'm really proud of it. I ripped on Jurassic World Dominion a little too much, but we did end on a positive note for the film. That I thought was very funny. Moth to the Flame is saying you're reading the I Know What You Did Last Summer book right now. Love your streams. Well, again, some videos coming next week on I Know What You Did Last Summer. I'm really excited to get into them. I hope you're enjoying the book. I hear it's very different than the movie, so let me know your thoughts. Oh, and one more thing from Cody here saying, calling it now, Ray or Julie is the killer. Thoughts? I think Ray could totally be the killer. I am so not against that at all. Here's the thing. A lot of people are going to be comparing I Know What You Did Last Summer to Scream. They are, like, just no matter what, we're going to be comparing those two things. It would be cool if they did something that the new Scream movies, I should say, wouldn't dare to do. And one of those things is making a legacy character a Ghostface. That's not going to happen. As much as some of us would like that to happen, I just don't see it becoming the case. That would end one of those characters' roles in these new films, and nobody wants that. You know, Courtney Cox is going to do 100 more Scream movies before she decides to call it quits. Same thing with Neve Campbell, I feel. I think they both want to be in like 100 more of these movies, so none of them are going to agree to a script where they die or... not after Dewey's death at this point. No one's going to agree to that. They want to be in 100 more of these movies, collect that good Scream paycheck. So you know, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Will they actually commit to something like that? I think they could. I think they absolutely could. And that would be cool. That would make it stand out. That would put it in the conversation alongside the Scream requels. Lindsay Commer is saying, what up, Jake? I hope I'm pronouncing that last name right. What's up, Lindsay? How's it going? Welcome in. We appreciate you stopping by, talking a little horror with us. Same to you, Marley Kai, saying, hello, Jake. Currently drawing out my comic book. The body types are very hard. You know, I respect people who do comic artwork because there is so much tone and definition and muscles. Like, comics don't get enough appreciation. You know, we have all these movies nowadays that are comic adaptations, but man, like that's an art form, bro. Like that needs to be respected more than it deserves. Samantha Robinson also hanging out with us. What's up, Samantha? Yo. Kind of reminds me of that Ghostface line. Is it Scream 5 where it's like, hello, Samantha? Like, I love that. But what's up, my dude? How's it going? Hey, Jake, what's up? Missed the last stream because I was out with a friend. That's all good. Sounds like you were having fun. I'm glad you have friends. What's that like? I wouldn't know. Shot by Shot also saying Superman is my most anticipated film of the year. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's good. Tom is saying, yo, what is up, Jake? Vibing out, talking some horror on a Wednesday. It's hump day. Hump day. Let's go. I make this joke every Wednesday, and I'm going to keep doing it. I don't care. Teddy's also with us saying, Jakey boy, what's up, Teddifer? How's it going? Mr. Tedwin is in the house. Appreciate you for stopping by. Did I watch Hell Hotel yet? Okay. I want to pause the stream for like 2 seconds here. You guys are constantly giving me some excellent recommendations, and I rarely have time to actually sit down and watch them. But yesterday, I took a very much so needed sick day. I'm going to be so real. I was getting ready to do some stuff yesterday and just Superman, early reviews of Superman. I'm like, no matter what I post today, it's not going to do well. So I literally threw in the towel. I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to take the day to watch some of the movies you guys recommended to me. And I did. I finally watched, what's it called? Creep from 2004. And that movie was fucking sick. So I'm getting through the list of recommendations. I have like literally 30 more movies you guys have recommended to me. but that's been one that's been on there for a long time. And I found it on Tubi, watched it last night. Really solid film. There was issues with it, maybe a little too many cliches and jump scares and all that for the kind of movie that it was. But a really fucking solid, creepy ass movie, man. It's a small story that's done very effectively. And whoever recommended me that, I appreciate it, because I would go, even with my issues, I would still go so far as to say it's a hidden gem from the 2000s, and more people should check it out. So really solid stuff there. I am going to watch Hell Hotel. We're moving through that list slowly but surely. But thankfully, I got to something yesterday. Finally had some time to watch some of these movies. I am definitely going to have to check it out, though, Mr. Rick. I appreciate the recommendation, as always. But I always appreciate your guys' recommendations, just because I'm busy. Don't know that they don't just go under the radar. I got them all written down somewhere. DJ Plays Favorites is saying, hello, all. Thank you so much for supporting the page. It means a lot. Thanks for being a channel member. What's up? Kyle Gordon, our resident squishy penguin, according to the profile picture there, is saying, good afternoon, Jake. How are you doing this fine afternoon? I'm great. How are you, dude? I'm doing well. Sorry, that's actually proper grammar or whatever the fuck to say you're well, not good. So I'm very well this evening. I can't wait to see Hell House Lineage. Trailer looks really creepy. What are your thoughts on the Hell House franchise? Have a great day. I'm still waiting for my screener. Just saying, if anyone's watching out there who's in charge of the Hell House screeners, I sent a email. I might send another one because I really want to get it. Everyone and their mother has gotten a screener for this movie, and I just cannot seem to get a hold of one, which is a shame because I would love to see it early. I'd love to post an early review with spoiler-free thoughts on it, but nothing, which is a shame. So really want to see this one as soon as humanly possible. It's coming out in a month where I'm going to be very busy alongside like a million other movies. So I don't know. I'm really hoping to see this one very soon, but we'll see. We'll see what's up. I'm excited for it though. I like the last one quite a bit, so I think this one's going to be fun. Joshua B. Pino is saying, does seem likely that Carla will make a cameo. Yes, it definitely does seem that way. So Jennifer Caton Robinson, the director of this one, has talked a lot about wanting to get Brandy into the new movie. And basically what ended up happening is we had Brandy Norwood come out and say like, hey, you know, Carla was still alive at the end of that second movie. Why don't I have a cameo? What's up with that? And we actually had the director tweet out and say, hey, let's have a meeting. Let's figure something out. So I would imagine they're going to try to set up another movie. I would be shocked if they didn't. So if they do some sort of cameo tease at the end where she shows up and she's like, hey, I'm here. Let's fight the fisherman in the next one. Hey, gives thumbs up, Marvel ending, move on to the next thing. That could be cool. I imagine that's probably what they're going to do with what capacity they could fit her into the story. I can't imagine that they did like an entire reshoot of the movie, you know what I mean, to fit her in. But maybe a quick little post-credit scene that could do it. That would make a lot of sense to me. Froggy Fresh Shitpost is saying, just spent 5 minutes laughing at the funniest TikTok I ever seen. Every time I calmed down, the video repeated and I got sent off again. I need to see this now. I need to see what this is. I also found a TikTok recently that might be my all-time favorite, which is so funny. But that's what a silly thing there. Ty Lee is saying, Jake, you could just record your own metal riffs and have them as background, no copyright. That's what I do with, man, all the music you guys hear in my videos is stuff that I've written, recorded, whatever, through like just synthesizers and shit. So that's been nice. I'll tell you what, it's been really nice having that under my belt. The music in like the outro of my videos, like that's kind of like the KillJoy Jake theme, so to say, which is fun. I love having that there. When I used to use StreamYard before they made it $400 to stream through their service, which is not worth it. Not worth it at all when you can do higher quality for free. They did allow playing your own music, which was kind of cool though. So I'll give them that positive, but raising their prices from like $125 a year to like $450 or whatever the fuck it is now, not worth it. Sorry, I ain't paying that. That's insane. Don't use StreamYard. Just don't. Like, unless use the free, if you're gonna, chat with friends on a live stream or something, use the free version. Don't pay for it. I will lobby against them for raising that price as much as they have in the last couple of years. Ridiculous. They don't need to be charging that much. Erica is saying, well, meowdy, y'all. What's up, my cowboy kitten friend? How's it going? Welcome in, Erica. Thanks for hanging out with us. Infinite Sky, also thank you for being a channel member. Appreciate that. Hello. Yo. What up? Ty, I think I should just do a music stream. I should just come on here with my guitar, not even talking horror. We're just vibing. We're just playing riffs. That would be great. RJ's saying, put some Disturbed or Slayer on the stream of yours. I would love that. That would be so cool. I know if you stream over on Kick, that's like a new streaming platform that you can use music in the background. So if I ever get started on there, which I would love to, would absolutely love to play some crazy metal music in the background. We're gonna, as soon as I figure out how to multi-stream, which I have all the tools to, I just have to actually sit down and make it all happen. I'm gonna do that. So Riley, Rage, and Sarah are both with us. Hi, hello. Yo. Welcome in, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. King Matthew III is saying, what's up, Jake? How are you doing today? I'm good. I'm well. Sorry, we established this already. I'm well, damn it. I'm very well. Aaron Hughes is saying Scream 8 is coming. Yes, we have talked about that in my last Scream video. Yeah, it's they're working on it apparently. They're going to start shooting that as soon as Scream 7 is all wrapped up essentially, so very funny stuff there. Makes me think we're definitely getting a cliffhanger or some sort of continuation flowing from 7 into 8. That would be fun. That would be cool if this was like a 2-parter finale, essentially wrapping up Sydney's story and 2 new movies. That would be great. I'd be very into that. Very respectful way to send off such a great character. Shot by Shot is saying, I saw Jurassic World Rebirth yesterday. I give it a 6 out of 10. That's totally fair. I would go 7, but that also feels a little high, I feel. It had some problems, but it was fun, man. I had a really good time with it. Bond is saying, hi, Jake. Hi, Bond. How are you? Welcome in, my friend. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for talking horror. Oh, Samantha, I'm so sorry. Your kitty is cancer and might have to put her down. That's terrible. Really sorry about that, my friend. I went through a very similar thing a few years ago. I had to put down a cat, and it was just awful. I genuinely cried the entire way back. Man, it's an awful thing, and I'm truly sorry about that. Never easy to say goodbye to an animal. Wes Carpenter Flicks is saying 308, baby, I made it. You made it 8 minutes into this. That's awesome. Well, welcome in, Wes Carpenter Flicks. We appreciate you. Get it up. What are we getting up exactly? Don't worry about it. None of your business. Wes Carpenter Flicks, thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate you. Who's on your horror Mount Rushmore, Jake? Mine is Ghostface, Freddy, Michael Myers, and Jason. Great choices. Man, hard for me to deviate from that. I think I'd have to put Art the Clown on there, though. That's my one thing. I don't even know who I'd replace on that mountain, but I would just feel like I'd need to put Art the Clown on there. I mean, he's single-handedly like the biggest horror villain of the modern day, and that to me says something. It's much harder to create a horror villain nowadays than it was in the 80s, I would say. Man, as controversial as this might sound, I might take Jason off of there and replace him with Art the Clown. I love Jason Voorhees, like one of the most recognizable figures in horror pop culture, like without a doubt. But I feel like Michael Myers is the same thing but better, which is maybe a hot take. It's weird. I think I enjoy watching the majority of the Friday movies more, but Michael Myers as a concept is way more interesting to me, which is, again, maybe some crazy hot takes being thrown out there. I love Jason, though. I can't say I don't love Jason. I do. He's excellent, but Ghostface, Freddy, Michael Myers, and Art the Clown feel like all those killers are all very different for totally different reasons. That to me would be my weird Mount Rushmore. But dude, Jason being up there, yeah. I mean, come on now. He's one of the best villains out there, and we've had so many different We've had so many different incarnations of Jason too, I feel. Tom just said that they would swap out Jason for Leatherface. I can't argue with that either. That's another great killer to put up there. Excellent stuff. I want to fast forward in the stream a little bit. I want to say a blanket hello to everybody coming in. Appreciate you guys a ton. I am so behind in the chat, though. I gotta move up. Austin Allman, thank you for being a member, my friend. And yes, we are playing The Quarry tomorrow. I've been meaning to talk about this for a bit. But yes, over on the gaming channel tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time, an hour earlier than we usually go live, we will be playing a full run-through of The Quarry. It's a game that has David Arquette from the Scream movies, Dewey Riley. He's basically playing a cop in this game, which is sick as fuck, alongside many other horror legends. I think I saw Ted Raimi is also in the game. There's other people too, but I'm totally blanking on them. They're in this game. We're going to be playing a full run through of it tomorrow. If I can get through it in time, we'll see. I still have to pack for GhouliCon this weekend. I'm a little behind on shit. But yes, so definitely check that out tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be very fun. Austin, you are one of many people who have asked me to play that game too. It's a popular demand game, and it was on sale this week. Funny enough. So if you want to get that, by the way, it's on sale on Steam. It was only like $10. And it's usually goes for like 40 or 50 or something like that. So just a reminder, if you really like the stream tomorrow, maybe consider getting it. But yes, we'll be getting into that tomorrow, and we're going to start doing some weirder streams throughout the week, while we do more of like the multiplayer stuff that we do on the weekends typically. So this Saturday we won't be streaming over on the gaming channel, but next Saturday we'll be back to some repo in case you really enjoy those streams. We're not stopping doing those, but I want to start incorporating some other horror games as well onto the channel. Have I heard of Deer Camp 86? This was one that's been brought up on stream a ton of times, Mr. Rick, and I really want to check it out. I kind of knew what it was going for. It was a one-time watch for you. I'm gonna give it a watch though. It sounds really interesting, kind of like a weirder 80s style modern horror movie. But I'm into it. I'm very into that. So definitely we'll have to check that one out soon. Do you think that Ray will get the Dewey treatment and I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025, or do you think he'll be the killer? I don't think he's living through this new one, so yes to that, but I could also see him being the killer alongside that. I could see, I genuinely feel like this is gonna feel like a Scream requel, in the sense that you're gonna have a bunch of characters that you end up really liking. They're gonna come very close to danger, but most of them are probably gonna get out alive. And then we're gonna have a big old nasty happy ending. One of the legacy characters probably will be the killer, is my guess, and it's probably gonna be Ray alongside somebody else. So my early predictions is that Ray and Chase Sue Wonder's character, who's playing Eva, I believe these two characters are probably going to be our killers this time around. I see this being a total screamification of I Know What You Did Last Summer if it wasn't already there. We're going full-blown just Scream mode with this new movie. Paul Bradley is saying that The Quarry is great. They need to make a Scream game like this. Dude, I totally missed it when it came out. And I'm so excited to be playing it now because I know nothing about it. I'm going into it totally blind, and I'm going to be just making a bunch of dumb decisions, and it's going to be chaos. I can't wait for it. So it's going to be a really fun playthrough tomorrow. I'm very excited. Infinite Sky, you've never seen Alien 1979 from start to finish? Dude, with all the new Alien and Predator things coming out, I would highly recommend getting into that series now. It's an exciting time too, I feel. We have a new Alien Romulus like sequel on the way, and we also have another Predator film that is once again using elements from both franchises in its film. There's an argument to say that Predator Badlands is in both universes. One of the main characters is a Weyland Yutani synthetic, which is really cool. So now is the best time to get into both of those franchises. I've been slowly rewatching a ton of them. Lately, I rewatched, Alien Resurrection and Predator 2, two movies that I'm just not super crazy about in either franchise, but I wanted to rewatch them because I don't really remember them all that well. It was cool. There's things I like about both movies, though. Both of those, even though they're maybe towards the bottom of my rankings for either franchise, still some things to love. Still some interesting ththings going on there. But, man, you got to watch Alien. You got to watch the original Predator. If you haven't seen Aliens either, man, oh man, those are, seriously, some of the best sci-fi movies out there. Richard is asking, do you know if they're still making In a Violent Nature 2? Yeah, so essentially, the only big update we got, it was from some, maybe Comic-Con or one of those big conventions that they were working on a sequel. That wasn't too long ago. I want to say that was last fall. So almost a year ago. So I guess that's kind of been a minute, but what honestly was going through my head is I don't think they thought they were going to get a sequel. And now they're slowly coming up with ideas for how to do another one. That's a tough concept to do a sequel to, admittedly. Because I don't think everyone got In a Violent Nature. I'm not trying to sound pretentious or anything, but I feel like a lot of people walked away from that one. They're like, that was really boring. Why would they approach it that way? But that's kind of the whole point. That's what makes it stand out from just a typical Friday the 13th knockoff, is that it's showing you the other side of it, right? Had that followed the typical Friday the 13th formula, we would have been following stupid main characters the entire time who just want to bone each other's brains out, going to some camp. Dumb characters who then get killed by a drone-like killer the entire time. This movie flipped that entire concept on its head. You're following the drone-like killer the entire time while you get brief little interactions with our main characters. You might hate that, and that's totally fine, but that's what it was going for, and it executed that very well, in my opinion. So now to do that in a sequel, that's going to be tough to once again figure all that out again. There's so many elements that you can see that are taken directly from the Friday the 13th franchise and once again just flipped on their heads. How do you do that again in a sequel? Well, that movie didn't exactly follow the first Friday the 13th to a T. It used elements from especially the sequel, like the second film and maybe even the fourth film, kind of incorporating that all into one big amalgamation of a story. So now where do you go from there? I think there's an argument to say that Johnny goes to space in the next one. You know what I mean? Something ridiculous like that. Just once again, kind of parodying where that franchise went. Do you just immediately take it there? What do you do with an In a Violent Nature 2? You still have to have your Friday the 13th elements to it that you're essentially parody is the wrong word, you know what I mean? But you're essentially ripping on to tell your own unique story, showing the other perspectives. If I were the guys that made that first one, I would go back and watch some of the more beloved Friday the 13th sequels, like Part 6, for instance, and try to figure out a way to just turn that on its head. How do you show that from another's perspective versus what we got? While also keeping it in the same vein of that first movie. It's a tough thing to ask. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't get that movie until 2027, just because I imagine the writing is going to be difficult to really get that thing down. But I do want to see it. I want to see In a Violent Nature 2. As we know it right now, it's still coming. It's still happening. Child's Play fan is saying, I heard there was a Scream 7 scene leaks. Is that true? I'm just going to be real with you guys. I'm not going to report on it, but I know about a ton of different things that have leaked for Scream 7, things that I'm trying to keep secretive for now. But man, this has been, it's been a pretty disastrous, pretty rough coverage of things going on with Scream 7. I know of a few things. I'm going to be so real with you. I know of somebody who has basically seen a cut of the film already. I won't elaborate any more on that, but there's so much out about Scream 7 already. And if don't ruin it for yourselves by digging too deep. Is like maybe the biggest thing I will tell you. I'm trying to keep things as surface level as I can without going too deep into it, but I already know a bunch of things about the movie that I just wish I didn't know. And I would encourage you not to dig too deep because you will find things at this point, which sucks because usually by now we're just kind of guessing. Maybe a few things have maybe some set photos have leaked at this point, usually like just in comparison to the Scream 5 and 6 coverage. But man, you can find out pretty much everything about Scream 7 at this point, which is such a major bummer. Don't dig too deep. That is truly the best advice I can give you. I have no interest in spoiling the movie here on this page. That's not why I'm here to talk about horror films. I've even avoided looking at some things because I'm like, I'm going to learn things I don't want to know. I've had people reach out to me saying, you want to know this about the movie? You want to know this, that, whatever? I'm like, no, I don't. How can I come up with theories if I know? You know what I mean? There's no fun there to be had. So I want to continue to be able to come up with crazy theories and all that shit. Even though there are things that I know that I won't share until the movie comes out. But don't dig too deep. Seriously, I can't stress that enough. What else is going on? We got Raptor Crashers hanging out with us. What's up, dude? How's it going? I think you're talking to Infinite Sky, so I'm going to wait till we get something else going on there. But thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate you. I love the video of Danny Glover dancing with a bunch of predators. Danny Glover is like my absolute favorite part of Predator 2. I mean, him as a lead is just genuinely excellent. If you guys haven't seen that one, it's weird. I don't know what happened with that movie. It is such a departure from what happened in the first movie. I think some people are going to love that though, because it is just maybe an elevation of the over-the-top action from the first movie. And in some ways it's maybe even more fun than the original sometimes, but I can't even take some of the other characters seriously. Bill Paxton is absurd. I mean, it's weird. He's playing like the character he always plays in like every movie, but 2 times 1,000. You know what I mean? The dialogue, the humor of it is just maybe a little too in your face and crazy juvenile. I don't know. I like it. It's still a solid movie, but it's just it's too much at times. It very much so too much. And that's coming from a guy who even likes things that are too much. David Primero is saying, did you know that Rick and Michonne are confirmed for DBD? Hope Courage the Cowardly Dog villains get in the game, as well as Fred or King Ramson maybe get a reboot for this. So I heard that Walking Dead was coming to Dead by Daylight. I didn't know if it was just main characters or not. That seems like it's the case. You can play as Rick and Michonne, which is cool. We were talking about this the other day on stream, and I'm like, wouldn't it be kind of sick to have just like a human villain, like nothing supernatural or anything like that? Just have like Negan with the baseball bat as a killer in Dead by Daylight. I don't even think that would be too crazy, and it would stand out because like every other Dead by Daylight killer is some kind of crazy monster or Chucky, or some crazy shit like that. Just do something simple. Negan and zombies walk around the map just like Nemesis in that game. I think that would be really fun. It's weird. The more I play these games, the more I feel confident to talk about them. Which before in the past, people would throw something like this at me and I'd be like, cool, I got nothing. Now I feel like I actually being stooped in that game for a little more, little longer, I can actually comment on these things, which is nice. But yeah, it's cool that you can play as Rick and Michonne. That's sick. But I would like to see like a villain from that series enter the game. Austin Allman is saying, I'm disappointed with the horror community that no one has made a Final Destination 6 meme saying garbage day. I need a million more garbage day memes. If you know, it's kind of one of those things. If you've seen that movie that we're referencing, watch Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. I couldn't, there's no better memeable movie in my opinion. Samantha's asking for thoughts on Urban Legends Bloody Mary. This is the third film that rarely gets talked about, and it's probably my least favorite from the Urban Legend movies. How they stand now, I probably rank them by release, like 1, 2, 3. I'd rank them just like that. But I still like all three of them. All three are very fun. I feel like it's weird though. I feel like the first two are kind of like connected, like they kind of have like some sort of connection, and Bloody Mary kind of just goes off the rails with it. But it's still fun. I still had a good time with it. I think I like the first two more. But it's a solid, it's not like total black sheep of that universe, maybe a little bit, but I still had a good time with it. I wasn't totally like, didn't feel like it was a waste of time after watching it, I guess is my point. But I like all three of the Urban Legend movies. I think they're all very worth your time. Richard is saying, I think that Art has a connection to the family. We're talking about Terrifier now. I love it. Like, what if Art is a relative of the Shaws? Like, maybe the dad thought Art passed away, but he just disappeared and went on a killing spree. I think you might be onto something. I really think he's connected to the Shaw family one way or another. We've just seen so many weird, news articles or weird connections to the father at this point that like just has to have some sort of payoff, I imagine, in the next movie. We're learning that in the first 15 minutes of the next film, we're actually going to see Art the Clown's backstory, which tells me it's going to probably showcase the relationship between whoever Art the Clown was before and Sienna's father. So there's already a bunch of little clues in Terrifier 3 that give us some sort of idea of who Art is, and I am really excited to get into it. I need to make another Terrifier video, man, but there's just been like so little things to talk about recently. I'm not making a whole video about how Rhea Ripley wants to be in Terrifier 4. That's cool, don't get me wrong, but that doesn't render a whole video, you know? But I do want to talk some Terrifier sometime. I miss making those videos, man. Last fall was a blast, just going ham on Terrifier theories and weird updates. It was really fun. That was a really fun time for the page. I do want to bring some attention to this real quick. Gina, my chunky Geordie, just threw out a link to the gaming channel. Guys, we are 30 subscribers away from being monetized. 30, like 30, 31 or something like that. That's completely insane. Please go subscribe to that. That would, I can't even tell, it would make my month. It would absolutely make my month to hit 1,000 subscribers this early on into July. That's kind of our goal, is to hit that before the end of the month, and we are so close. So please go subscribe. Even if you're not into horror games, it would just mean the world to me. So definitely go check that out. And we have a big stream tomorrow, like I said. And one more thing too, we got a bit of a super chat goal here. We want to hit 10 super chats before the end of the hour, so that would be kind of cool. We got 30 more minutes to make that happen. Always helps to support the page, keeps the lights on here at the KillJoy Jake Studios. Let's get back to this though. We got a few interesting chats coming through. Infinite Sky is asking if I've seen The Shrouds by David Cronenberg. Yes, I actually did a members only review for that one a little while ago, so you can check that out now. My members only video this month is going to be coverage on GhouliCon happening this weekend, so that's going up sometime next week. I figured let's kill some birds with some stones, right? So yeah, that's going to be a really fun video. It's going to be kind of a vlog, meeting up with people. So a lot of the folks who are coming and hanging with us, we're going to be just doing a bunch of crazy videos talking horror. It's going to be a very fun time. So check that out very soon. Members only videos going up very soon here. Also, channel members, if you leave me a very fun comment on videos asking some crazy questions, I will make a short video out of it. I actually have some planned for later on today and the rest of the week. So check that out. If you want to become a member, lots of really fun perks to it. It's only $5 too, so it's nothing too crazy, but trying to get more perks out to members, and maybe keep it only down to like one tier. So we're doing some changes with that, but it's moving forward, and it's a fun little thing too, I feel. But yes, thank you guys to all the channel members. Best way to support the page. Really does mean a lot. Shot by Shot is saying, Jake, will you be playing Fall Guys at the end of your stream tomorrow on your awesome gaming channel that people should subscribe to? Wow, I feel like I paid for that chat. Holy shit. No. Yeah, we'll probably be doing some Fall Guys. That we've been ending our streams doing that, just playing with viewers, and that's been a ton of fun. If we get through the quarry, I want to get through like at least half of it tomorrow, at the very least, then yeah, we'll definitely play some Fall Guys at the end. I also, over there, like, we're kind of just letting the viewers determine what we end up doing. I mean, we did an 8-hour stream the other day, and we literally just, like, whatever y'all were wanting in the chat, we just kind of played that. It was really fun. We started off with some repo, got into some weirder games in the middle, and I think we ended like for 2 hours just playing Fall Guys with viewers. So it's been really fun. That has been just a blast of a channel to get started, and I really do appreciate you guys stopping by. We're trying to make it as fun as we possibly can. So Michael Parton throwing $2 out there. Thank you so much for the support, man. Saying, hey Jake, you excited to see Superman? Absolutely. Oh man, I'm so hyped. In terms of just superheroes in general, James Gunn, I feel, has made some of the best ones in the last couple of years. I have 100% had the superhero fatigue that has been a big talking point lately, and the only movies that just really blew my mind in the last couple of years have been his 2021 film, The S Squad, which, if I say that word, the stream's just going to get shut down entirely. Probably not. That's a little melodramatic, but you know the movie I'm talking about. Not S Squad, but The S Squad. Sewer Slide Squad. There we go. Loved that movie to death. That was killer. And then I also loved Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I think that's easily the very best Marvel movie to come out in the 2020s. Like, bar none. Nothing comes close. Thunderbolts was solid, but Guardians 3, man, chef's kiss. I loved that movie quite a bit. So now he's got Superman coming out this week. I can't wait. I don't trust any of the early reviews, though. Sounds like a lot of just people who want to hate on this movie because it's not Zack Snyder, and I feel like it's a lot of people who just aren't giving it a chance, which kind of sucks, because I get like, oh, they're moving in a new direction and you're not happy about that. That's fine. Listen, I have I have that same thing about Scream 7. I have had so many criticisms of where they're taking it, and choices being made behind the scenes that I just don't necessarily agree with, but I'm still staying open-minded. You know, I'm still excited for this movie. I'm still going to see it. I'm going to voice my opinions on the criticisms, but I'm not just totally down and out as a fan. You know what I mean? I'm going to check it out. It's being made by Kevin Williamson. I got faith there. And I feel like it's the same thing happening with Superman right now. They're taking it in a different direction. Not everybody's happy about that, but I feel like you got a guy who understands superheroes in general lately, and like I said, has made some of the very best superhero content just in the last couple of years. I have faith in this movie. I really think it's going to be something worth our time that people are going to like. I know it's going to make money at the box office because it's been the most talked about film in the last year, but in terms of quality, will this be something worth your time? I think absolutely yes. I definitely think it's going to be something cool, but something very different than the Zack Snyder version of the character. So I'm very excited, Michael. Thank you for the $2. Appreciate you a ton. Cannot wait to see that this weekend at some point. I hope you enjoy it. Gina's also throwing $1 out there. Gina's always killing it with super chats. Gina, just so you know, that does not go unappreciated. We really means a lot to me that you've helped us hit our goal on almost like every stream in the last couple of months or so. So thank you, Gina. Really does mean a lot there. So thank you for throwing $1 out there. Wes Carpenter flicks, dude, I have not seen this one and I've been meaning to. I've rewatched They for the first time in 15 years, and my God, I've been spoiled by modern special effects. This is a Wes Craven flick, right? If I'm not mistaken. This is a movie I've been wanting to watch for a very long time and have not gotten around to it. I think that's the movie I'm thinking of, right? Or is it Them? Yeah. Yes, his 2002 film. Yeah, I've been meaning to watch this movie. Like, it has been on my list for so goddamn long. I didn't know Ethan Embry was in that flick. He's in Scream 7. How about that? That's cool. Need to sit down and watch this one. I don't even care if it doesn't have good reviews. Like, it's a Wes Craven movie I've never seen. Really want to sit down and watch that one. That's so funny that you brought that up. I was just thinking about that movie. I think I saw it scrolling through something. I'm like, I need to sit down and watch that. That's cool as fuck. Marley Kai, you're also 100% right on this. If I reach 1,000 subscribers on my gaming channel, I will play Club Penguin, which is another highly requested game, specifically from Marley Kai and Marley Kai alone. So just want to make that so clear that we will play Club Penguin, the most terrifying horror game of all time, on the channel if we reach that goal. I can't even get through that. I'm laughing so much. Richard is saying, really random, but how cool would it be if we got Damien Leone taking on Jeepers Creepers? It would be so bloody. That would be an interesting combination. I think his style would work really well with that franchise, honestly. I wouldn't mind that at all. I really want to see Damien do Friday the 13th, though, man. There's so many reasons why I need that to happen. I feel like you know, Friday the 13th is a franchise that has been so oftentimes just shat upon by the MPAA. And that sucks, in my opinion, man. We could have had so many great Jason kills that have been cut down because the 80s were not too good to gory horror films. They were, but they weren't, right? They were cut down so much in that time period, which is such a shame. And now we have unrated horror movies going to the theaters. Like, not just Terrifier, a ton of other movies. We have Toxic Avenger coming out this year. We have Jimmy and Stiggs coming from Eli Roth's new company, the horror section. Unrated, bloody as fuck, absolutely ridiculous. And they're going to theaters. Now is the perfect time for Jason to come back and have a bunch of unrated movies with over-the-top brutal kills, things that would make honestly just top the 80s movies, which is a crazy thing to say, but I think it's possible because of the situation nowadays. Shot by shot, you're so right. We need an unrated Friday the 13th movie. Damien Leone could easily bring that to life. Maybe not so easily because of the right situation, but in terms of we get past that, fingers crossed, hopefully, and Damien comes on board, it would be something truly special, I feel. What else is going on? Raptor Crashers is saying my schedule has been slammed, so I have not watched any movies in theaters since 28 years later. You know, man, if you haven't seen Rebirth yet, I would make a trip to the theater for that one. That was totally worth my time. That was a film. It's probably the last film I saw in theaters that I'd say like was totally worth your time. I know that a lot of people said that F1 movie was good. I haven't seen it yet. Just haven't had time to go to the theaters for something I'm not covering, I guess. But I've heard that one's also very good, which is sick. Always good. Just any good movies out in theaters always makes me happy. Critical Overlord is saying, but does Jake have his ticket to Southport yet? I do have my I Know What You Did Last Summer tickets. Critical Overlord, let me know this. I'm curious if this was the case or not, but there was a Monday mystery movie this week. Was that I Know What You Did Last Summer? Did people get to see this one already? Because if they did, I'm fucking bummed. I couldn't make it to that, unfortunately, but let me know if you know anything about that. You're also saying that Damien Leone and Jeepers Creepers would be better than the last two Stains. I think anything, but mostly anything would be better than the last two films, right? Oh my God, what the hell happened with those? Crazy, man. Sloppenheimer is with us too, saying, Jake, what's your opinion on the new People Under the Stairs remake? The fact that it's coming from Jordan Peele just makes so much goddamn sense. It's so weird, man. If you watch the 3 Jordan Peele movies we have so far, the horror ones, I'm not talking about Keanu. Anyone know about Keanu out there? Huh? Probably not. You probably don't know about that movie. Don't worry, you don't need to know anything about that one. But anyways, the 3 Jordan Peele movies we have right now are just, I mean, it feels like they came from that original movie, that People Under the Stairs. They are just so similar in terms of tone and what they're getting into conceptually. Such interesting movies altogether, and they all just fit so well. It's weird. It's almost kind of weird to me that he wouldn't want to direct a remake of that. Like, I almost feel like I don't even know if he'd have anything new to add to it, because it's like, it's a perfect movie how it is. It's a very underrated film from his catalog, in my opinion. I love People Under the Stairs. But the fact that Monkey Paw is doing some sort of remake, I can't imagine a better group of people to do it. You know, I really can't. So that to me, I feel like is going to be sick when we finally get it. I hope they're able to add something new to it. That'd be really cool. But definitely excited to see whatever that ends up being for sure. JPR is saying, if the Ringu were to get a reboot, what would you want the reboot to be? An American Ring or like a Japanese movie, mix of the two? We've actually gotten a lot of properties from the Japanese side of it recently. There was an entire TV show, if I'm not mistaken, based in that. I almost covered it and I just didn't get around to it. Never had the time. But I heard it was okay. I heard it was just okay. Didn't hear any like rave reviews about it, but it's cool that we got something else in that franchise, you know? There's also within the last 10 years or so, there's been some sort of like versus movie between The Grudge and The Ring, speaking specifically about the Japanese properties, not the American ones. It was like Sadako versus Kayako or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, which is like, that's crazy that there's another versus movie out there that most people probably haven't seen. That's like basically their Freddy versus Jason, you know, and I need to see it. I need to sit down and watch that. I would totally do a review of that, by the way. Would totally do some sort of ridiculous review. That would be so much fun. I'm speaking of which, I'm working on more versus videos. I'm trying to think of more things that I would want to pit together. And I think I have an idea for something coming up, hopefully next week. Fingers crossed, baby. We'll see. Erica, thank you for the $2. Appreciate that a ton. Saying less than 20 minutes to hit the super chat. Go, words. Let's fucking go. Yeah, let's fucking go. Erica, I appreciate you helping us. It means a ton to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Marley Kai is also saying, did you hear that Rob Jabez, the director of The Sadness, is in a Zoom press conference for the live action Crossed movie? That would be cool as fuck. That would be sick to see him do that. The Sadness is basically a loose adaptation of the same thing. If you guys never saw that movie, it's one of the most interesting, maybe most controversial zombie movies within the last 10 years or so. I definitely recommend it. I was mixed overall about The Sadness. I think it starts off so well, but then I feel like it takes things too far and then ultimately just completely loses me by the time we get to the end. But I loved the first half. The start of it was like genuinely excellent, and it kind of just fell off at a certain point for me. So, The Sadness, definitely a movie to watch if you like zombies or like Evil Dead movies. You got to watch The Sadness. It is absolutely an insane film to give a watch to. Critical Overlord is saying, "Ooh, no, that was something else." Okay. Good. I'm glad people haven't seen. Like, I would be so bummed if I was trying to make a theory or something and people have already seen it. You know, I did that. What movie did I do that for? And someone was like, "Oh, that's not it," or something. And I'm like, "Well, I haven't seen it yet. Come on, man. I'm just trying to make some theories, man. Theories are fun." But if a bunch of people have seen it already, I'm not going to make a ton of theory videos next week. But we'll see. We'll see what's up. Tom really liked Keanu. I liked Keanu because we had, Key and Peele in the movie together, but I just, in terms of a comedy film, I don't know, kind of mostly fell flat for me. But I'm so glad that it basically made Jordan Peele pivot to horror. I will say that. If we didn't have the 3 Jordan Peele horror movies, man, I'd be a much sadder human being. So glad we have those. My Chunky Jordy throwing another $1 out there. Thank you so much, Gina. We appreciate that a ton. We also got I'm Gonna Slash and Gash saying the funniest thing about the fun little movie is that they isn't even this movie. Not really. He just gave them the blessing, if I recall. People do that sometimes with their film promoting. Is that they isn't even this movie? I don't know what you mean by that. I'm Gonna Slash and Gash. It's not even his movie. It's not even his movie. Oh, it's like Wes Craven didn't even direct it. It was just like he produced it or something like that. Oh, maybe that's what you mean. I'm like, huh? Oh, yeah, Robert Harmon directed this. It's got a big Wes Craven Presents on the front of it, so it kind of makes you think that's him. But yeah, I guess you're right. Shit. What's going on? I'm just curious what he did with this movie. He's probably like a producer, right? Can't imagine it being something. He was an executive producer and like presenter, so to say. So it looks like it's a Wes Craven film, but it's not. Okay, interesting. Huh. I always thought this was a Wes Craven movie for that reason. That's hilarious. Hey, Splattercast is joining us saying The Sadness is my favorite film to watch while eating. Yes, definitely like a bunch of spaghetti, a bunch of pasta, red sauce. I imagine that would be great while watching The Sadness. There's definitely nothing within the first 30 minutes that would make you want to hurl that up. Nothing at all. Oh yeah. Dylan, it's so weird. We were just, I don't know if you heard what we were talking about with that movie, but I think the first 30 minutes of that is fantastic. And beyond that, it totally loses me. It's so weird. I've never seen a movie just so night and day. One part of it is like masterful and the second half of it, not so much. I just feel like it gets like too indulgent. It gets too off the rails too fast. And it just kind of loses me at a certain point. But The Sadness is such an interesting flick. It's a very specific. I've never seen another movie quite as brutal as that film that still kind of works for me. So it's definitely one to check out. Ty Lee is really excited for the sequel to When Evil Lurks. We were just talking about that movie the other day, and it is actually with the Splattercast guys. I was just talking about that one. I love that movie quite a bit. It's kind of got overhyped for me, but I still just appreciate the fuck out of it. It is it's a very strong and solid 9 out of 10. I love it a bunch. It's one of those like international movies that thankfully got a bunch of love, which sometimes they don't, and that always bums me out because I'm like, this was so good. Why did nobody see it? So this is a rare case of something that's a little more, less Hollywood getting some love and some praise here in the States, which is great in my opinion. So if you haven't seen When Evil Lurks, you want to talk about some brutal horror movies, this was very effective. Also very Evil Dead feeling, and I feel like both of these movies are very Evil Dead inspired. And When Evil Lurks has got such an interesting idea. The way I've described it is it's basically the Evil Dead apocalypse movie that we've all have always wanted but never got. And it also gets into some religious stuff too, which was interesting. But man, it's just a great kind of Evil Dead movie. I'm actually kind of shocked that Demian Rugna isn't doing one of the new Evil Dead films that are coming out soon. So kind of beyond shocked there. If it was me, if I was Sam Raimi, I'd be like, dude, you want to hit this up? you want to hit this franchise? You want to do Evil Dead 8, bro? Come on by. Let's see what happens. But I'm so excited for Evil Dead Burn, man. Oh my God, it's going to be so good. Maybe the movie I'm most anticipating right now moving forward with things we're covering. Samantha is asking if I've seen Sleepaway Camp. You're damn right I have. Oh man. One of my favorite lines in a movie ever is eat shit and live. No, I love that one quite a bit. It is bizarre and fucking weird, but man, if you're into it, if you like some weird B movies that have just got a very unique and twisted sense of humor about them, I think you will enjoy Sleepaway Camp. It's just such a unique film. That's another one I've never seen another movie like it. Like it's camp. And it's got that, 80s summer camp horror vibe, but in just such a unique way. There's no other film like Sleepaway Camp, not even the sequels, I feel. And Sloppenheimer is just saying that would be an interesting one to see remade or rebooted. How could they remake that movie? Like, honestly, if they made a remake of that movie, it would be basically Friday the 13th, is how I feel about it. I don't think it would be capturing that same campy and very bizarre energy of the original. But I bet it would still end up, like, I bet a remake of that would still be good, but just not for the same reasons I liked the original. What's the other movie that's kind of just so unique and weird like that? Phantasm. Phantasm is another movie where I just feel like you couldn't remake that. Like, it's just got such a unique weirdness about it. I don't know how anyone would do that the same. Splattercast is saying, I didn't really love The Sadness until I saw it again. That first viewing is a lot. It is, man. Honestly, the film pushes into territory that I think some would say is too controversial and too, like they can't watch that because it's too much. It's not even that bugs me. Honestly, I think the thing that just really lost me was the entire ending. The ending focuses on a whole new character all of a sudden, and that just it just loses me story-wise personally. But I did really love that first half. I mean, there is some of the most brutal zombie sequences, or like Deadite sequences, I should say, in a movie ever in the beginning of The Sadness. Definitely something. Evil Dead fans, Train to Busan fans, I feel like need to watch this one. There's a lot to love in that movie. Austin Allman talking about a movie coming up real soon here, less than a month away on this one, Weapons. Really excited for this one. Looks bonkers in the best way. I couldn't agree more. Dude, Weapons is a movie that really intrigues me. It feels like this year's Longlegs, as it's being marketed in such a cryptic and bizarre way. I don't know what we're getting into with this one. Maybe. I kind of have some ideas. I kind of don't at the same time. It's such a bizarre, like, what the fuck is this going to turn into? We know that all these kids are, disappear in the middle of the night all at the same time. So it's like someone else is doing this. Some outside force is making this happen. But what and how and, what's going to be the ultimate answer to this insane mystery of a movie? I can't wait to find out, man. It definitely looks like one you're going to want to go into blind, which I think is probably the reason I haven't been doing too many videos on it. I don't want to go into it knowing everything about it. I'll tell you what. That's another one where people have said they've read excerpts from the script I've heard already, and I'm like, I don't want it. Man, I want to know nothing about this movie going into it, which is crazy. But Weapons definitely looks like one I'm really excited to see. Zach Krager, who did Barbarian, still one of my favorite movies of the decade so far. If I ever did a top 10 list on 2020's horror, I think Barbarian would definitely be on there. I just love that movie. I've seen it so many times, and I cannot believe there's not a physical release of it. You can only watch it on streaming, which is such a shame for me personally. Kai Carlson is saying, is it safe to assume you've seen the KillJoy movies? I own the first three. I watched the first one and I did not like it, but I own them as kind of a joke. They're where are they? They're somewhere on there. Do I whip this thing out? Am I going to whip it out on stream? Is that what's about to happen here? Hang on now. I'm going to go and find it. Because I got it. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Here we go. Oh. I feel like an excited child going and grabbing my DVDs and showing my friends on the internet it. But yeah, I own the first 3 on DVD. I bought this as kind of a joke, just to put it on the set, essentially. But here we go. KillJoy. The KillJoy the Clown. A lot of people thought I named my channel after that. How crazy would that be? No, unfortunately, that's not the case. This is KillJoy Jake is actually a what's the band called? Bring Me? No, not Bring Me the Horizon. It's KillJoy Jake is actually a My Chemical Romance fan page because their fans are called Killjoys. No, I'm kidding. David Primero, thank you for the super chat. We're nearly at our goal, ladies and gentlemen. David is throwing $2 out there saying, "Have you? How about a Hatchet reboot? Like, should they do a reboot that franchise at some point?" Well, I just watched an interview with Adam Green, the creator of that series, talking about the Terrifier movies, and he's kind of dissing them. He's kind of like angry. It almost seems like he's kind of angry at their success. He feels as if they copied him a bit. I personally feel like that's arguable. I feel like the Terrifier. The reason I would argue that is I really love the Terrifier movies, and I'm just kind of lukewarm about Hatchet. So I don't know. I personally don't feel like I don't feel like one copied the other. But I do really like. I do really like Adam Green, and I want to like the Hatchet movies more than I do. I just don't have the love for them that I have for the Terrifier series. And they both hit on they both have brutal kills. There's no doubt about that in my mind. They both do that the same. Like I'll give them that. But like the story of Terrifier is so much more interesting than the story of Hatchet. Just for me personally, some people may disagree, and that's totally fine. But I've never really gotten it. I watched the first 2. Did I watch the first 3? They all kind of blended together. I watched at least the first 2 Hatchet movies, and I just remember not really being invested in the story. I thought the kills were cool, and it was cool to see so many like horror legends on screen bring that to life. But I didn't really get invested in the story. The other thing about Terrifier too is I feel like with each movie they have arguably gotten better than the last. Hatchet, I felt the exact opposite. Like I felt like a decline in quality as we went along with them. So I think that there's just been so much momentum building throughout the Terrifier series. That's the thing that makes it stand out against something like Hatchet or any of its like brutal contenders that you could throw up there. Like I've had people in the chat come to me and they're like, "Oh, Jake, you like Terrifier movies? You clearly haven't seen this or that or whatever." And they're all movies where I'm like, that's probably more brutal than Terrifier, but that's not the only thing that brings me to that franchise. They've also just done such a great job at building up this cryptic lore in the background about who Art the Clown is. And they've done it in such a subtle and sophisticated way, which I feel like is such an overlooked element to Terrifier. We have people bitching about the franchise all the time. They're like, "Oh, it's just for the gore. It's gore candy. There's nothing else to it." And I'm like, if there was nothing else to it, I wouldn't love it as much as I do, man. There's so much to talk about in terms of the little inklings of hints at who Art the Clown is throughout multiple movies. They clearly have some sort of big answer that we just haven't figured out yet, and that's so exciting to me. So I don't know. Hatchet kind of just gives you everything there is to know up front. You know what I mean? There's just not as much intrigue with the background of the character, even though the kills are fucking awesome. So I need more than good kills though, for me personally. Some people, that's all they care about. That's totally fine. But the thing that drives me so much to Terrifier is the great kills, is also the backstory for its antagonist. Thank you for the $2 though, David. I appreciate it. I hope that they do more Hatchet. Honestly, I feel like now's the day and age to do it. Unrated horror films are banging right now. So let's see it happen. Nothing would make me happier than to see some sort of new version of that totally rocks. I think that's possible. Wes Carpenter Flex is saying, "Come on, y'all, super chat this man up." Thank you so much, dude. I really, again, just really appreciate the support. Means a ton. It's tough running a smaller YouTube channel like this. A lot of my friends have 100,000 subs, and that's gotta be nice. It's gotta be nice having a little bit bigger of a page, but it's because of you wonderful folks that y'all keep this channel alive. So again, really does mean a lot to me. Your support does not go unnoticed. Thank you. Thank you. And Erica is also saying 3 more to hit the goal. Let's fucking go. Let's see if we can get it in the next 50 seconds. Rock on, people. Appreciate you guys so much for helping us hit that again. You all rock. Takes a village to do, something like this. So again, means a lot. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Richard is saying, Jake, what do you think is the best, your favorite Scream movie? My favorite Scream movie, I feel, is just always going to be the original. I can't imagine a sequel ever tops it. It's a masterpiece for what it is. It changed the game in terms of slashers. I don't think anything has ever really come close to beating it or besting it across the entire franchise. I do love all of the Scream movies. Like, I think all 6 of them are very fun for what they are. But man, that original movie, it's so groundbreaking for what it is. I just can't see another sequel topping it. But I do love the 4th film, and the 6th movie is also just like a guilty pleasure. Like, I love those 2 so much. So I will continue to watch the Scream movies and cover them on this page. I just don't, for me personally, I don't think anything could best the original personally. Raptor Crashers is throwing $5 out there again. Thank you so much, guys. We made it to 8 out of 10 of the goals, so that's not too bad. Not too shabby there. Thank you, guys. Raptor Crashers is saying, Terrifier is one of my favorite movie franchises. I love those movies so much more than most horror flicks. Art is also my favorite slasher. Hell yeah, dude. I was so like... so I have a weird history with Terrifier. I posted a video about Terrifier 2 like well before that movie came out. And it was a movie I saw a long time ago, and I enjoyed it. I thought the first one was solid. I wasn't over the moon. There was things about it that I felt were not great, maybe a little undercooked. I didn't really feel like it had a focus on a main character, which was like a big thing for me. I'm like, who am I supposed to be rooting for here? What's going on with this? There was issues. There's issues with the first one. Let's be real. But that killer is so magnetic. Like, I was just like, man, Art the Clown, that guy, he could go somewhere. There's potential with this one. And I did a video talking about Terrifier 2 and how much I loved the slasher, and I just remember it blew up. It did really well. I think it was my most viewed video at the time. For a little while there. And I just kept covering it. I kept learning more about it. Damien Leone and Michael Levy, all these people from the franchise reached out to me, which I thought was just so cool. And then we saw Terrifier 2 in theaters, and it blew my fucking face off. I'm like, that's my favorite slasher movie, I think, to this day. That's my absolute favorite slasher. It hit on everything I could have possibly wanted from a continuation to that film, and did things better that I just felt the first one could have done. And that to me just impressed me so much. The fact that they were not only willing to listen to fans and take the criticism on the chin, but they actually like did something really impressive and unexpected with it. So not only is that sequel just a good movie, but it just feels like it's so ingrained in what the fans wanted from the series moving forward. And I will never not respect that about the Terrifier crew. They're great. They're not only great listeners, but I also just feel like they're making some of the most important horror films of our generation. So I have nothing but love for Terrifier, man. I really do love those movies so much. Even if the creators were a bunch of jackasses, which they're not, they've been incredibly kind to me and so many other great folks out there. I think I would still just love and respect these movies for what they are. They're huge staples in horror history, and I can't wait to see how it all wraps up here sometime soon. I imagine we're probably going to get Terrifier 4 next year, and dude, I'm ready for it. Like, bring it the fuck on. Let's go. Raptor Crashers, though, thank you for the 5, man. Appreciate your support a ton. Art the Clown's one of my favorite slashers too, if not my absolute favorite. So I'm with you there. Love me some Art. Cineverse Rewinds is saying, I got the sadness in my horror pack. I will have to watch it. Yeah, definitely. You never know what we're going to talk about on these streams. Like, it is so much fun to come on here and just totally unexpected whatever we're going to get into. And the sadness was one I didn't even think we'd chat about, but that was a really good, it was a good movie, man. Again, I have my issues with it, but there's a lot to talk about with that movie, and it does something unique. And anytime a movie does that, I feel like it sticks with me, and it's worth talking about or even worth watching. So definitely check out The Sadness. That is, I wouldn't call it underrated, but I would call it an important flick to see. It's a must watch, I feel, in the splatter realm. Fort Misery Gaming is with us saying Scream 4 is so underrated. Slap some respect on Emma Roberts. Dude, Scream 4 is my favorite sequel, without a doubt. I think it has the best twist and the best horror commentary of all the sequels, by far, by a large margin. I've always really enjoyed that one. It was my first Scream film. It's what got me into the franchise in the first place. And I just, man, that twist is cold. It's cold-hearted, it's brutal, and it does so much for me, man. I love Jill, probably my favorite killer from the sequels. I have said in the past, Mickey's my favorite, just killer overall. I feel like he's the most like underrated. But man, in terms of the reveal, Jill's got it by a lot. Shot by Shot's throwing a buck out there too, saying there you go for support, dude. Thank you so much. It really does go a long way, man. I mean, just like a buck like that, it really does help. So thank you for the support. It really does. Again, keeps the lights on here and all that. It means a lot. So thank you. Thanks for the support. The Beer Belly Angler is saying, hey Jake, I'm going to make my own movie focused. Your own movie focused YouTube and Instagram. Hell yeah. I need help with a name. Movie beer focused name. Any ideas? Stay awesome. Ooh, okay. So we're trying to combine beer and a movie together. Okay. Last the last beer on the left. The beer has eyes. That doesn't make any fucking sense. The hills have beer. The hills have a cooler full of beer. I'm just gonna keep coming up with dumb names like that because I think it's fun. Really trying to think of another one. I know what beer you drank last summer. I don't know. These are wordy, aren't they? Dude, listen. Some advice I'll give you is like, I remember trying to come up with a name for a horror channel, and I was doing that myself. I was like, oh, let's do a pun on a horror movie or something like that. The best ones are taken. I'm just gonna say it straight up. Bloodbath and Beyond was a horror channel a little while ago. I don't know if they're still uploading, but they had Bloodbath and Beyond. That was a killer name. I was like, that's the best fucking name on YouTube for a horror channel. Are you kidding me? Bloodbath and Beyond, Bed Bath and Beyond. It was that logo with blood. I'm like, you can't do better than that. Bam. That's sick as fuck. I chose KillJoy Jake because I feel like it cuts through. Like, I feel like it's a little more. It's not necessarily a reference to anything unless you count the KillJoy movies. Unless that's what you think my origin story is. I just love these weird, bizarre clown movies. But it wasn't like anything specific. And it kind of had a little bit of like a weirdness about it. You know what I mean? It stood out from the crowd. But if you want to go that route too, there's nothing wrong with that. I just thought I'd give you some advice. You know, just thoughts on what happened with my name and all that, and just throwing it out there. But make it your own. That's maybe the best advice I can give you is just that don't feel like you got to do it some other person's way. Do it your own way. Be authentic. That's gonna bring you that's gonna bring you the most love. And I love the names we're getting in the fucking chat. A Nightmare on Beer Street, Beerifier, Tricker Beer, Beer No Evil. Fuck it. See, we're cooking down here, baby. I love it. Be authentic. Do what you want with it, man. Fort Misery Gaming is saying, Jake, Superman had an 85% critic and 96% from audiences. Do you think it was good, or are you still excited to see it? I'm definitely still excited. Again, I can't even really trust any scores from critics, audience members alike at this point. I feel for this movie, there's a lot of people going into it with just negative connotations. This is great that the Rotten Tomatoes scores are so high, but like I'm going to see it for myself. I'm not going to let any reviews sway me one way or the other. I'm not going to go into it with high expectations. I'm not going to go into it with low. I'm just seeing the movie, seeing what it's all about. Really, I think I'm avoiding reviews for this one. It's one of these movies that's been either hyped up or just shat upon for two reasons that I don't necessarily agree with. So I just want to see what it's all about. I want to see what James Gunn has given to us with this movie. And I don't want to go into it with any sort of bias because I feel like a lot of the things going around about the movie don't feel fair one way or the other. There's so much going on, so many different talking points that I kind of just want to judge the movie on what it ultimately is. So we'll see what it's going to get into. Raptor Crashers is saying, I think Terrifier 3 is even better than Terrifier 2. I like how the story has kept getting bigger and bigger. You know, I said it for the longest time that I thought Terrifier 2 was my favorite, but the more I watch Terrifier 3, man, dude, the opening of that movie is like genuine, like no notes. No, the way that movie starts off is maybe my favorite opening to a horror film ever. Oh my God, everything about it is so fucking gross and fantastic across the board. I love how we start with the tease of Arthur Claus. You know what I mean? We start off with this tease of where the movie's going, and that ultimately ends up affecting the plot, which is cool. It's not just in there for gore candy or whatever, like people say it does. That opening scene heavily affects the plot if you're paying attention. And then we get the the continuation from where we left off in Terrifier 2, which is sick. It's almost like this double opening. It's almost like two opening scenes for the same movie, which is great. They both work very well. We get to see the aftermath of Terrifier 2, how it ultimately sets up the next film, and it's brutal as fuck. I loved it so much. And Vicky, such an unexpected element to Terrifier 3 that may push it to the very top of the franchise is Victoria, dude. How they reinvented that character. That was probably the biggest talking point, the biggest worry I had, negative talking point, I'll even say, moving into the third film. I'm like, I don't really know if they need Vicky in this movie. You know, I didn't miss her in 2, and, you know, I guess she shows up during the post-credit scene, but like, I feel like nobody really cared. You know, I feel like nobody was like, oh man, I want to see more of her. Not really. Wasn't a whole lot of talk about that moving into 3. And then, dude, Samantha Scafidi gives this like earth-shattering performance that is so fucking scary in that third movie, and it's like, now I want more Victoria. I can't even believe I'm saying it, but I feel like she's not going to be in the next movie, and I'm going to miss the hell out of her. So, Raptor Crashers, anybody who argues that Terrifier 3 is better than 2, it's hard for me to disagree, but there's an indie feel about the second movie that I feel like is lost in the third film that just really elevates that second film so much for me. I love that it feels like this like low budget movie we shouldn't be watching. And it's got such, it's not self-aware yet, which I feel like in Terrifier 3, Art the Clown, he knows he's an icon. He's showboating a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's fucking great. Art the Clown's performance in all 3 of these movies is like 10 out of 10. But there's something about Terrifier 2. It feels like he's trying to prove himself as a slasher villain, trying to be up there in the ranks with Jason, Michael, Freddy, all these other characters. And I feel he succeeds. And to me, it almost feels like you can never top what was able to be done in Terrifier 2. But I'm so down for more. Like, I'm down to see more Art the Clown. I think for me personally, Terrifier 2 is always going to be my favorite. But Terrifier 3 also so fucking good. I mean, damn, I no notes, no complaints about the series moving forward. They've been able to surprise me with so many things beyond just the kills that I really just have no complaints. So much to love about these movies for sure. Chris Nichols is saying Jill is the best killer. Again, no arguments there, man. I think Stu's always going to be my favorite Ghostface, but Jill is phenomenal. We stand Jill in this household. Richard is kind of with me on Terrifier 2, which is cool. Love Terrifier 3, but I love Terrifier 2 more just because they went through the ringer trying to make it. This too. Still a low budget. Damien doing everything BTS while delivering flowers for work during COVID. Yeah, dude went through it making that movie. I mean, it's impressive how many hats he wore making that film while also still working a day job, essentially trying to make ends meet. It's amazing. It's such a killer story when you learn all about what was going on there, how hard it was to make that film for him, and he still pushed through because he loves making movies. He loves doing what he wants to do, and I have nothing but respect for the guy. It's really impressive what he was able to do with this series, and I cannot wait for 4, man. I'm dying to get into another movie. I really am. Really dying to see what this all ends up being. Talia is joining us. What's up? What's up? You're saying, I heart Jurassic World Rebirth. I think. Oh, no, that's actually in your name. The heart is part of your name. Let's start this over again. Talia is saying, Talia with 2 emojis is saying, Jurassic World Rebirth was really intense and did a lot I loved, but I couldn't stand the D-Rex and the lack of backstory of the rejected dinos. I also got bored at times, but overall, I give it a 6 out of 10. I definitely had my issues. I think the characters was kind of one of my biggest points of contention. I just did not love all the character work. Scarlett Johansson, I feel like they set up a lot of stuff with their character and it didn't end up going anywhere. There's this whole emotional conversation between her and Duncan that literally only goes somewhere for Duncan and not for her at all, which is kind of weird. Duncan should have been the main character, I honestly feel, after watching that movie. I'm like, they did so much with him, but nothing for the character who was on screen, had more screen time than him. That was odd, but it was a little rushed. The writer's strike did heavily affect this movie. They had the idea for it before the writer's strike, and then that happened. They couldn't really write the script. Then they got to it, and then they just moved into production really quickly, from the sounds of it. Again, I did a whole video on it today. If you guys have not seen that yet, give it a watch. Kind of details a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff that I feel is really important to know, especially when we're throwing criticism at it. I think I'm a little higher on the film just because I'm a little more apologetic towards the backstory on this one. Writer's strike affecting it, and they were, respecting that and the guidelines there. They could have just been writing a script that whole time, and they didn't. So I appreciate that. I do wish that they had more time to work on everything, though, and get some story elements straight that felt a little obscure and obtuse in this one. And I agree. I would have liked a little more backstory on the rejected dinosaurs. The opening scene we were supposed to get was going to be what we got, but a little longer, a little more extended, which I thought would have been really cool to have seen all of that, the entire history of this new island that the film is mostly set on. So I agree, Talia. I definitely would have liked more for that, but there was some genuinely great horror sequences throughout the entire film that were a big standout, and again, just something so different from the last film. Dominion really dropped the ball on doing a lot of the big staples in this series, things that we expect, we really want to see in a new Jurassic whatever. And the fact that this movie was able to hit on most of those cylinders really well, that to me is really what I was looking for more than anything. This feels more in line with the original trilogy, which again is very refreshing. It's not just exactly the same thing we did in the last couple of movies, which felt just a little too all over the place. I appreciated some of the new ideas, more so in Fallen Kingdom than Dominion, but ultimately Fallen Kingdom is kind of more of a messy movie despite some of its more ambitious stuff going on. And Dominion is just a total disaster across the board. But I feel like this is an uptick for the franchise. Even with my criticisms, I feel like moving into the next movie, we're going to get some more, so hopefully some better Jurassic World ideas, because there's going to be another one. I talked about why in today's video. They have this perfectly planned out. Universal's going to make another trilogy. And I'm excited. I'm just excited to see where it goes. I hope they're good. I really do. I'm really rooting for these movies. Shot by Shot is saying, Jake, you should make some Chicken Man merch. I've been wanting to buy some merch from you and would love a hat, as I am a hat guy. Well, there is some Chicken Man merch. There's a Chicken Man beanie, there's a Chicken Man t-shirt, and there's a Chicken Man like a dad hat. And I have the beanie myself. So there's a Chicken Man beanie, but it's summertime, right? You don't want to be wearing a beanie out there right now. There's like a dad hat with the Chicken Man logo on it. That's sick. I recommend the t-shirt though. I really want to get myself the t-shirt. It has the logo and Chicken Man on it, which is sick as fuck. I couldn't put it on the hats, which I would have liked to, but these are embroidered hats. So it's like a real person on there wouldn't look good, but the logo, this is kind of sick though, man. I do really like I like the hat quite a bit. So I had to get that for myself, but I'm going to get a Chicken Man shirt here very, very soon. But yes, we do have merch over on the merch store for Chicken Man, and there's a Wes Carpenter shirt, which I think is really fun, and also just a KillJoy Jake line as well. I think I'm going to release new merch in like sometime this fall. I have an idea for something, and I want to get some art done, some designs happening, but we'll have some new merch up there soon. But as of right now, there's some like Scream themed merch. There's some KillJoy Jake stuff and Chicken Man stuff. So go check it out. Lots of good stuff over there. I think the new Wes Carpenter shirt is like my absolute favorite thing, though. It's got a sick, like a different variation of the KillJoy Jake logo on the back, directed by Wes Carpenter on the front, and then it's got like a unique looking ghost face on the sleeve, which is sick as fuck. So there's some really cool stuff on that shirt. I had a really good time designing that one. But Shot by Shot, thank you for asking. I appreciate it. Raptor Crashers is extremely excited for Stream 2. Stream 1 is another one of my favorite slashers. Stream was banging, man. Stream was a really fun watch, and now we know that they're doing Stream 2. Raptor Crashers, I don't know if you saw it or not, but Fuzz on the Lens, they recently did a short film in the universe of Leprechaun. So Michael Levy is really lobbying to do that next movie from Lionsgate, and I think he should totally get it. I'm in full support of that, especially after seeing this new short. It's basically Leprechaun meets Terrifier. I mean, there's no better way to describe it. The kill that we got to see is brutal as fuck. We also get to see some cast members from the original Leprechaun show back up, which was fun. And man, there's just nothing but love for that short film, which was sick as fuck. It feels like a great companion piece with the original Leprechaun, not so much the sequels that kind of just go maybe too far off the rails. The first one, though, is fun as fuck. I love the original Leprechaun, but I just don't like the sequels. I don't know what it is. But check out that short film if you guys haven't seen it. Really fun to watch, for sure. Talia is following up here saying, I still enjoy Rebirth more than Dominion or Fallen Kingdom. Those films don't hold up for me as much. I'm going to see Rebirth again tonight. I want more movies, so I hope they only get better. I really feel that this is the beginning of an upward trend for the Jurassic franchise. Just based on the things that Gareth Edwards said about working on the movie, like, wholeheartedly. He was talking about how, you know, he incorporated more of these horror elements, made the movie scarier than it probably should have, because, you know, kids are going to see this one. Let's be real. I think he even said it best by saying that Jurassic Park movies are horror movies disguised as family fun adventure flicks. And I couldn't agree more with that. They're fucking scary, man. When that T-Rex shows up in the original Jurassic Park, that is a scary sequence, man. But Rebirth brings that back, and I agree with you, it's not executed maybe as well as the original trilogy, but it does hold up a lot of the things that I loved about the original 3 movies that the other Jurassic World films don't necessarily have. There's moments of the first Jurassic World that I really liked. I love the concept of that film. The Indominus Rex is kind of scary and all that, but this movie has such a focus on, you know, these are animals and that's why they're fucking scary. And also just, it's a more simple story. I feel like they kind of just got way too convoluted in the other 2 flicks. But yeah, I really think they're only going to get better from here. And especially if Gareth Edwards is in charge, I trust him wholeheartedly, man. Some people really don't like his movies. I don't know. I really dig them. They're weird and unique, but they work for me. Even if I don't, not everything about them maybe works for me, but man, his Godzilla flick, I think, is easily the best of the American movies in the last couple, like maybe last few decades. Godzilla 2014 rocks. I don't know. That to me is better than every single new American kaiju movie we've gotten. But just my thoughts. I can't wait to see what else comes from this series. I hope they're good. Hope they're good moving forward. Wes Carpenter Flicks is saying, "Oh, I need that shirt." Yeah, my merch store is in the description of this YouTube in the description of this live stream. So if you want to give that a look, lots of really cool and fun things happening there. Fort Misery Gaming is saying, Jake, is it true that the Megan franchise was canceled due to how bad 2.0 did this past month? You know, it sounds like they're going to release the spin-off movie. Sounds like that's still happening. We actually had word from James Blum saying that in a recent interview. I saw a clip of him actually talking about it. So that's still going to happen. So we don't know. We don't know as of right now. I think most people are going to say, yeah, they're not going to do a Megan 3. No way. But, you know, what if this companion movie comes out and it's a major hit? Here's the other thing that was teased in this new Jason Blum interview. He recently was talking about, yeah, you know, we got a new one coming out in January, the spin-off film Companion. It's different. It's R-rated. It's going to be more so about the fact that it's going to be more so about the implications of Megan, right? It's going to be about other AI robots and shit out there. It's going to be more of like how did he describe it? Like more of like a sensual 90s thriller, essentially, that kind of gets into like Fatal Attraction vibes, essentially, which is very different. He also teased that we might be seeing some of the characters from Megan show up there. So we might see Megan and Gemma. Who knows? Maybe they might show up in the next film as well. And here's my thing. If that's the case and this movie comes out and it's a big hit, I feel like it could totally revive the Megan franchise, because it sounds like it's going to be more straightforward horror, and I feel like it's kind of their ace in the hole. It could be, at least, maybe, potentially. So I'm hoping it's good. I feel like that'll showcase the future of Megan moving forward. Because here's the thing. Let's say that movie's good, right? Let's say that movie comes out. It's a big hit, another big January hit for them, which they've had a couple of those in the last couple of years. Could you imagine that comes out, then Megan 3 happens, and it's back to being a simple killer doll horror flick? Because that's the problem with Megan 2.0. It's up against all these other very big movies right now, and it's also just not what people wanted from a Megan sequel, so to say. At least for the majority response. So if, not Companion, it's the movie that's just like Companion. If Soulmate comes out and it ends up being a pretty big hit with Megan fans and horror fans in general, it could totally revive this franchise and they could get things course corrected for a third entry. So I'm not totally dead. I don't think Megan's totally dead in the water yet. If this spinoff comes out and it bombs, then yeah. But if there's some hope left for the Megan franchise, I'm not giving up hope on it quite yet. Who knows? Maybe this movie's a big hit. Shot by Shot saying I'm going to get the Chicken Man shirt. Hell yeah, rock on. Shot by Shot's also saying my whole theater was just teenagers, mostly girls for some reason, so there was some talking during the movie. Well, you know, you never know what happens next for Megan, so hopefully it's something positive. Samantha is saying, so is Art the Clown going to be getting a new partner every movie now? That's a great question, Samantha. A seriously great question. I don't know. Because we got kind of blindsided by the little pale girl in the second movie. And that also ended up, affecting the story a little bit. We learned a little bit about her, who she was, who she used to be. And that was a big part of Art the Clown's lore. One of the few things we really do know about him. So, if Art the Clown gets another partner in this next movie, it might end up being someone who affects the overall story, would be my guess. So here's what we do know about Terrifier 4. It's likely going to pick up right where we left off, or maybe at some point it will, because just based on how the last two movies went. And we know that he's on that bus with Phil Falcone, the the producer of these films. So he's probably going to get an Art the Clown death to maybe kick off Terrifier 4, which will be fun. He's also on that bus with the girl who's reading The Ninth Circle, which, if you guys know anything about that, it's essentially what a lot of Art the Clown's lore is based on. Damien Leone did this short film where it's like all these demons attacking these girls who get kidnapped by Art the Clown, and he like basically brings them to hell. It's insane. It's an insane short film. If you guys have never seen it, it's part of All Hallows Eve. It's literally it's the first segment in the All Hallows Eve film, if you guys have not seen that. And that's likely where we're going in this next movie, but with an actual budget. Because if you watch that short, you're like, they didn't have a budget and they filmed this in a warehouse somewhere. Now we're going to actually take it to Fire and Brimstone. We're going to have whole full-fledged sets and all this crazy shit. So I'm really excited to see how they adapt that into the Terrifier movies and how they make that essentially probably the set piece for the final battle between Sienna and Art. It's probably going to be super epic and over the top and crazy, and I can't wait for it. MT is hanging out with us. Yo, what is up, my friend? Saying, Jake, did I miss any talk about him? Very much anticipating this one and was curious what your thoughts were on what we might expect. P.S. I'm still waiting for that jar of your bathwater. I'm working on it, man. I don't take too many baths these days, so so give me some time. I appreciate the $35 though. No, I'm kidding. No, but him, I am definitely excited for this one because it's got a bizarre concept. I mean, how many football horror movies can we think of? I feel like it's very unique in concept, and it's coming from a studio that is very familiar with that. Monkey Paw always is coming up with some unique ideas and executing them with grace. So I have a lot of faith in this one. I will say I just don't know if I was super impressed by the trailer. I think there's some things about it that feel... how do I want to word this? It feels very like I know what's going to happen. Like I have a feeling I know where this is going. I've seen this movie before kind of vibes. Feels like it's not coming from the studio, but it feels like your typical A24 horror movie, but apply that to a character who's in like professional football. So I don't know. I want to be excited for it though. It's coming from a company I love, Monkey Paw, and I'm sure it's probably going to be something of quality. And definitely something to talk about before we get to the end of the year. So I'm excited for this movie though, overall. I want to see more marketing from it for sure. I want to see what else this movie's getting into, but I don't want to judge a book by its cover too much, I guess is my main point. I'm excited to see what it ends up being. Just Jess is hanging out with us too. What's up, Jess? How's it going? Thank you for being here. Jess and Teddy, you guys have been just monumental in supporting the pages lately, and I can't thank you guys enough. We don't have a ton of friends to play games with, but I'm very thankful that we have Jess and Teddy to play video games with. So thank you guys so much for playing some of the crazier games over on the gaming channel. Really does mean a lot, your guys' support lately. Chris Nichols is saying, hey, Jake, how do you think Terrifier 4 will top the violence in Terrifier 3, which was really intense? Dude, that chainsaw sequence still haunts my nightmares. How are they going to top that in 4? I really want to see Art the Clown have a new, like we were just talking about this earlier, but wouldn't Art the Clown having some sort of new partner in crime going after people and killing them, could that add a new level, to Terrifier? Because I'm just thinking about Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3 and how unique those movies were because of Art, the new horror villains that came along with Art the Clown. That worked so well. What are we going to do in Terrifier 4 to top that? You know what I mean? How are we going to flavor this one differently than the previous two? It's a big question. It's a big question that needs to be answered now, and I'm excited to see how they ultimately do it. They'll probably keep it a secret up until, you know, the movie actually comes out. But I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay, because Victoria was such a big surprise. I did not expect to like that character as much as I ended up doing with Terrifier 3, and I can't wait to see what else they throw at us, man. I think that is, to this day, Samantha Scaffidi's best role in a movie ever, and I can't wait to see more from her. Would love to see her play that character again, too. I wouldn't be complaining about more Victoria Hayes in Terrifier 4. But, you know, honestly, I almost want to see... I don't even know if I need a new character. I would almost love to see it's Art the Clown, it's Victoria, and the little pale girl. All three of them running around causing chaos at the same time. What does that look like? Because Victoria and Art have a great dynamic. I feel like Art the Clown and the little pale girl have a great dynamic. What does that look like? That could be sick as fuck. Something else I'll throw out there that's crossed my mind a few times. Could we see Brooke potentially go just full-on killer in this next movie? We saw her basically being like this American Werewolf in London style ghost haunting Sienna in the last film. Could that affect the next movie in some way, shape, or form? That could be cool. I'd be into that. But we'll see. We'll see whatever ends up happening in 4. I'm here for it. I'm down to see what comes next. What else is happening here? We got give Art the Clown a rocket launcher? Dear God, no. That movie would be over so fast. Terrifier 4 would be over before it even started if Art the Clown found like an RPG or something. Oh my God. Fort Misery Gaming is saying, did I see that Critical Overlord posted that I Know You Did Last Summer is confirmed to get another sequel after the reboot? That would be awesome if that's the case. I imagine some of that is dependent on how well this one does at the box office, too. But I would hope that this is the start of a whole new series to talk about. You know what I mean? That would be fun. And, you know, I've had my doubts about a new I Know What You Did Last Summer film, but if they're making this basically just like a new Scream, you know, a Scream competitor, right? I could get into that, man. I could get into, you know, basically Sony just making Scream films with the I Know What You Did Last Summer title, because that's essentially what this new movie looks like, down to a T. So I'm okay. I'm totally okay with that if they have it be murder mysteries. It's not just a continuation of the same story from the last 2 movies. It's just kind of doing its own thing with a murder mystery slasher film from the 90s, essentially. Cool. That in that case, rock on. Let's see what it's all about. They might even be able to tell some sort of bigger and more insane story than what was going on in the original films. That because the original I Know What You Did Last Summer, it's such an isolated incident. It would be tough to make a sequel to that directly at any time, or just in any case, situation, whatever. That to me is such a standalone film. But you know, the original sequel is good because I feel like it's just so campy and ridiculous. Like that's why it works for me. It's a tough task to make a sequel to that. So they're basically just saying, hey, fuck it. Here's a new thing that happens, a new accident, and it's going to kickstart this new story. And I feel like this movie is going to transition the franchise into just a pretty much a simple murder mystery slasher with that 90s flair to it. I think that's what a lot of people love about the 5th and 6th Scream movies. So I feel like why not do that with I Know What You Did Last Summer? I'm open-minded to it. I want to see what it's all about. We'll see. We'll see if it's good or not. I hope so. I hope it is, man, because it would suck if this one crashed and burned with some of the hype it has behind it and some of the great actors and actresses in the movie, too. Give Art the Clown a fighter jet. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, this movie would be over so fast. If Art the Clown got into a fighter pilot jet or something, movie would be over in 5 minutes. Terrifier 4 should bring back Dawn and have her fight after she is almost completely sawn in half. Oh my God. Could you see like a sawn in half Dawn, like crawling across the floor, like some sort of like a ghost of those characters? I hope that Terrifier 4 finds a way to bring back those characters from Terrifier 1 as ghosts. Now that we've established that in Terrifier 3, that like ghosts exist in this universe, I would love to see something like that. That would be so cool. Like she's just like a blob of meat basically on the floor, like dragging herself across. I mean, they could do that, man. They could do that. That would be so gross. That'd be so nasty. Her and Dawn and both of them, I feel, should come back in some sort of way. That could be fun. It could be a really cool idea to do there. Maybe they're haunting Sienna, you know, just like how we saw with Brooke in the previous film. I know they don't exactly have any ties to her in particular, but it could be fun to see nonetheless. Why not? If Sienna's seeing visions of dead people, you know, from the past, why not include those characters too? Give Art an army tank. Oh my god. Jeez. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what ends up happening in Terrifier 4. That's kind of, I guess we kind of led the stream with that topic in a way, and I want to get an update. Damian Leone, give us something. Let us know what's going on behind the scenes. The people want something, damn it. Give us Terrifier 4 or give us death. Victor Simpson is saying, Killboy Jake, the man, the myth, the legend. We are not worthy. Victor, thank you so much, man. I'm just some douchebag with a microphone. That's it. I'm just going to be so real. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys hanging out and talking horror with me. That means the world. A lot of movies to be excited about this month, though, ladies and gentlemen. We have I Know What You Did Last Summer next week. We have Bambi the Reckoning the following weekend. We have Together even after that, then Weapons. So many insane horror movies are dropping within the next couple of weeks. It's going to be intense. This week, it's all going to pretty much be all about Superman, but after that, it's pretty much horror up until spooky season arrives. So it is going to be an intense couple of weeks, let me tell you. I'm really excited. The other thing, too, is after this week, you're going to notice that a lot of shit is going to be gone from the set. Old Jake, if you haven't heard already, is moving sometime soon. I'm moving in with my absolutely lovely fiance, and I'm very blessed for that, let me tell you. So I'm really excited for that, but the set's going to kind of get gutted here in the next couple of weeks, and we'll have a brand new set to talk horror on in August. So I'm really excited for you guys to see that. So it is going to be kind of insane the next couple of weeks, moving into a new apartment and shit. But I will still try to make videos as much as humanly possible. But expect maybe some less frequent uploads just within the next couple of weeks, because we're doing a lot. A lot has to happen for us to move. So we got to get a lot of things figured out. But again, I really do appreciate your guys' support. I see Aim Punched hanging out saying, hope you're doing well. Same to you, my friend. Hope you're watching some good stuff this week. And I unfortunately do got to get moving, but we won't be live on Friday, and we won't be live on the gaming channel on Saturday, because I will be at GullGotha this weekend. So make sure to come on out in Newport, Kentucky. It's going to be fun. Get your tickets, stop on by, say hi to Killjoy Jake. I'm going to be there all weekend. It's going to be a ton of fun. So stop on by Saturday and Sunday for that. Also, I'll have a new video out, Weekly Woes, tomorrow. A new series I've been doing on the page, covering some smaller stories from the past couple of weeks, or from the past week or so, that I wasn't able to make videos about here on the channel. So definitely give that a watch if you can. And hopefully I'll have some sort of video out on Friday. No promises, though. I don't know. The other thing I'll say is we're going live at 2 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, and we're going to be playing The Quarry. It features David Arquette from the Scream movies. It's a really fun video game, I've heard, story-based, very similar to Until Dawn. So definitely check that out at 2 o'clock tomorrow. But guys, thank you again for the support. Thanks for hanging out with us. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Peace out!